What is up, guys? Control here. Today's video is going to be on Ashe. Basically just centered on Ashe. You throw Sejuani in there, but that's just because Sejuani's busted, and you can throw into basically anything, and she kind of just pops off. So this is kind of like an Ashe deck with Sejuani on the side, which is sweet. And it's very similar to the one that you would see play pre Rising Tides expansion, and that was just the Freljord Noxus Ashe deck. But now you have a decent other champion that you could run in addition to Ashe, which is just going to be Sejuani. Obviously, she scales Ashe and is just a powerhouse by yourself on offense or defense. Just being able to slam her on 6 if you're on defense, your opponent plays, their own Sejuani first, you just Sedge their Sedge, it feels pretty good. Basically, anything at any point in the game as champion is just really, really good. Definitely don't look to level her up or play for that exact mindset in this deck. I played like 6 or 7 games of this list and I never leveled her. But I won basically every game. I think we went like 6-2. I think 5-2, maybe 6-2, something like that. Overall, the deck is very strong though, and very similar to just the Ashe deck pre-patch. Can talk about specific cards. Again, you got specific spells here: Brittle Seal, Elixir of Iron, Culling Strike, and Harsh Winds. So these are all at either 2 or 3 of right now. You can mix and match them. Obviously, maybe you want 3 Harsh Winds instead of 3 Cullings. That sort of thing. You can basically tinker around with those numbers all you want. Perfectly fine. No real issues there. But I think those 4 spells are definitely core and the ones that you are going to want. Iron is just so good right now, and one that just really helps you keep any unit you really want to have kept alive. Specifically, it's really important when you think about Ashe, right? Like, she's the big unit that you want to have kept alive, have level up, and then at that point get the Crystal Arrow down and basically just win the game off that. Early game package for the most part is very straightforward. You play Omen Hawk because, it's Omen Hawk. We all know about this card. It is turbo busted. Not too much more to say there. Sentry, just very good card draw, and decent at blocking those 3/2s. So just a good card in general, and obviously draw is really good. That's also something that this deck does very well at, drawing cards. We'll get to that in a minute though. Next up, Iceveil Archer, pretty straightforward card. Very good frostbite effect, and just a very powerful deck. A very powerful card in a deck where you're trying to play Ashe and freeze or frostbite 5 enemies, so she can level up and then just make it so nothing can really block your big board. So the Archer is pretty good at that, and it's really nice because it's a 2-drop that doesn't really fall off. It's definitely very useful at basically any point of the game. Anytime it's your opponent's attack turn, they have an attack token, and they choose to play a unit before they attack, or even like a slow spell, Iceveil Archer just becomes one of the best cards in your hand. Because unlike something like the flash freeze you get from Ashe or just Brittle Seal, you can't play this during combat, so if they do take an action, it is very nice for you. Can also use it to set up lethal, again, post Ashe level up, which is really sweet, so it's a very versatile card. Can also, one of the big things right now is Demacia is still quite popular for, the mid-range decks like the list I posted yesterday with the Fewer Shen. Iceveil Archer is very nice into them because when they use their barrier cards on their units, before their attack phase, you can just freeze whatever they're burying, and then they basically just waste the barrier effect, which is really nice. Next up is Glory Seeker, just a decent card. It doesn't do that well into Shadow Wilds, but fortunately it's not the most popular region at the moment. It is still popping, and it is here. Karina decks haven't gone anywhere, as you guys probably know. But still very good when you're not worrying about Vile Feast and Withering Well. Yeah, still really nice card. Trades up into a lot of stuff, and it's a 5/1. It definitely has its downsides in certain matchups, but in others it really does shine. And you have Elixir of Iron to protect her too, so pretty sweet card, and one that obviously has synergy with another Noxus card, which is Trifarian Assassin, but again, we're going to get to that in a second. Trapper is another decent one. I don't think this card is completely core. I do think he is decent though. Trapper's never like the most insane card in the world. You basically just play him and say, well, I'm going to get a 1-mana 5/5 in a couple turns, which should be good. And the answer is it usually is. You guys will see me play it quite a few times actually, and have the Yeti drawn obviously a couple times as well. And it is just solid. There's nothing wrong with it. Very good at blocking, keeping you in the game, and even being kind of aggressive as well. So I would say it's a decent card in the deck and one worth running, but it's definitely one of the more cuttable cards. Culling, we kind of been over, just very good removal. If you play Swain a lot like me, you're not going to be the biggest fan of this card. Will of Ionia we already don't like, but Culling Strike, we really don't like. So not too much more to say about that, but the Fioras and the Swains of the world really do not like this card. Ashe, just the deck's cornerstone, not too much to talk about. Level up, get the Crystal Lair on top of your deck and then win the game. That's basically what she reads. Very strong champion, but one that's is not very good at blocking, so defensively this deck can struggle a little bit, but things like the Enraged Yeti kind of make up for that, and the Ice Veil Archer as well. Next up, Babbling Bjerg. Again, one of the cards that could be a 2 or 3 of, kind of up to you. I do think it is relatively core though. Basically just draws a 5+ power unit, which is really nice in the sense that you can hit Avarice and Hearthguard or Sejuani pre-buff on these. Only issue is you can also draw Glory Seeker, which you usually won't want. You're going to be playing Bjerg on 4 a lot of the time when you're like, hey, I really want a Hearthguard for next round to just buff my deck up. It's kind of the idea with that. Now we're finally at probably the coolest card in this deck. It's Retherian Assessor, which kind of just lets you draw so many cards, man. If she is buffed herself to 5 attacks, so think about like with an Omen Hawk buff or the Avarice and Hearthguard Bard buff, obviously, she will also draw a card for herself because she does counter self. But this is kind of the draw engine with this list and really how you pop off and win games. And what really makes this list competitive is, you know, the 3 out of 10 games or so you're going to get where you are just going to draw 4 or 5 cards with 1 Assessor, which basically just wins you the game on the spot. It's really nuts, and one of the grossest things you can do is just have a Hearthguard in play, buff up everything in your deck, you know, draw a couple of your buffed units, get an Assessor in play, boom, just draw 3 or 4 on like turn 6 or 7. Kind of insane. It's really good. You know, more synergy with the Yeti, Glory Seeker, all these like 5 attack cards, and you know, you get 2 buffs on like an Archer, for example. You're just there already. Same with the Bjerg. Basically, a lot of cards in this list will just draw you cards as a point, and the cards that you draw are going to be good. And if you're at the point where your cards are buffed with the Hearth card already, all the cards that you draw are going to be more buffed. So, last 30 seconds to summarize that was basically, when you play her, if you have buff cards in your deck, you're usually going to win. Pretty straightforward, but she is very sweet and a very satisfying card to play, I'd say. Even when she just draws like 1, she's okay. She draws 2, she's really good. She draws 3, she's insane. Think about it that way. Don't try to get too greedy with her, but she is pretty sweet when she does work. And if she doesn't, well, that's it's kind of a sad react, man. Sometimes you draw 2 of these ladies and you won't be too happy, but you know, that's how the card games go. Hearthguard, one that used to be a 5-mana 5/6 and was very broken in closed beta. But you know, as buffs and nerfs have happened and other cards have kind of came into the game, this guy's definitely gone down in power level. But as we're kind of in a mid-range meta right now, sort of came back as you do have time to play this guy, right? You know, before, during patch 1.0 or 1.1, you would just die to burn decks if you try to play this guy. But you know, now you have time to jam a 5-mana 5/5 on turn 5 if you want. Works. It's really good, and that's one of the reasons why you're seeing this exact list being played at the moment. This is just pretty good. Harsh Winds talked about this a little bit, but I mean, this is just a very strong card. It being a burst spell is very good on offense or defense, and it also, you know, skills your Ashe for 40% of her level up already. 2 out of 5, boom, done like that. So really good for that reason, and you know, you see me utilize it a couple times in the next couple games that I'll be showing for you guys today. Just a good card, and again, could be a 3 of if you want. Next up, Reckoning. One of the cards that throws people off still in this deck is Reckoning. It is, I would say, a pretty underrated one, and one that's definitely worth running at least as a 2 of. I think that's probably the sweet spot as well. I think as a 3 of, you're going to draw it a little bit too much in a similar fashion to like Intimidating Roar, but it is crazy how much people will play into this and just not respect it. So you play Reckoning when you have like, say, just even like 1 Ashe on board. You have like a decent board, your opponent's going to attack into you, they're going to think they're going to kill you. You play Reckoning and, well, their entire board is wiped. And that happens a lot. So definitely look out for this card. When you're playing against Ashe Sejuani, keep it in the back of your head. And if you're going to try this deck out, play for it as well. Very good card, and one that is very satisfying to pull off. And lastly, Sejuani. We definitely touched on her a little bit, but just a good card. Not too much to say. I play a lot of Sejuani, and I think that she is definitely one of the most versatile and easy to slot in champion set. Basically any deck. Anyways, enjoyed the list, guys. Past couple of days, with the exception of the Assembly Bot deck, I've been posting very strong lists that are going to be very good for you guys to climb. So if you're ever wondering what to play, if you want to hit Masters, Diamond, Plat, whatever, Shen Fiora list from yesterday's good. Elusive list is pretty good. Deep is pretty good. And the Ashe Ledge deck from today are all very good decks. Probably be trying out some more fun stuff in the next few days. But, you know, just wanted to give you guys a decent sample size of very strong decks that I would consider tier 1 to play and climb with. So jam any of those on ladder. You'll be able to get wherever your heart desires if you want. If you'd like any additional help, feel free to check out the description of the video to learn how you can maybe get some coaching from me. And you can also check out my stream live on Twitch. Check me out, twitch.tv/control. I'm live Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 2 p.m. PST. I take Mondays and Fridays off just to chill out. But those would be the days that I go live for, 4 to 6 hours on 2 p.m. PST. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Appreciate it. Have a great day. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys want to see next. Calista Elise, Shadow Isles Noxus. What is this, Baru? This has got to be something fast, right? Something aggressive. So if that's the case, I mean, I would rather run evens. I mean, Glory Seeker is just not the look against Shadow Isles in general because of Feast, right? I think I'd rather just like hardball here than keep even like a Glory Seeker just because it just does not really work out that consistently here. Culling's okay because of Elise, but it's not that great because it doesn't hit Calista or anything. Hawk is pretty good.
There's nothing to fear.
So actually Archer with 2-1 here just because then he'll won't attack with Elise because he doesn't want to make the trade happen, I think. So this is usually just gonna be a pass from him then after this. Which overall I would say is favorable for us. So you can think about it, but I mean, unless he has another Elise in hand, he's not going to want to do this, just because then we're basically just going to be able to kill his Elise with our 2-drop for free. Sag, I think we start with the Omen Hawk here. I don't want to call in because he can just bond, right? It's kind of not the best look.
I'll try anyone once.
Okay, well, we maybe want to culling. I don't know if we want to culling that or if we'd rather culling Elise. The 1 mana, you can't really do too much there, so we kind of shut down the possibility of Disciple popping off. But we leave up the opportunity for him to kind of pop on board, I guess. I feel like because of transfusion stuff, like I'd rather just clear the Disciple instead. I could be completely wrong with this though, but I feel like this is a better calling strike when he only has 1 mana here. Definitely feeling a little bit expensive for the effect though, I will say that. And it's not even like our next turn's looking that hot either. Because I mean, Elise usually is going to be sticking around. Bark Beast should be permanently good for him. It'll be a 3-3. I mean, basically just the Fearsome tag is making it tough for us to do anything. Open attack here usually. We're really just not going to be that happy because the bond is just going to come down, I think, a lot of time.
Women.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for the 5 at TG. Appreciate that, man. Respect women all day, every day. You fucking know, man. Not much else to say there. You're just spitting straight facts if you ask me. Is it ever the Ashe instead of calling here? They both just lose to the same thing, which is just the bond. Ashe loses to a little bit more though, I guess. Upside's definitely bigger though. And she technically plays around the bond. I think I like playing her here. Kind of off, but I mean, I think it's still the correct play. So if he transfusions on the Elise, she's dead to the Ashe. That goes there. Hit the spider, he goes in for 4. It should be transfusion here, hit this, or like transfusion here, hit this, something like that though. To kill the Ashe. Is there anything like ever like a 5-head block here that makes any sense? Full passing is not good. I think I just have to make his transfusion or his bond good, unfortunately. Like you could just say maybe you only block the Bark Beast, but I mean, that's not really going to be that good. Because I have no challenge units to interact with this board because I mulligan the Glory Seeker away. Vile Feast, that's fine, yeah. Okay. So no bond, but a feast, that's okay. Kill the Elise still. Bark Beast is obviously popping, all that kind of stuff is working for him, so that kind of sucks, but I think we just gotta take it. Unfortunately. For the Bjerg. At least if he has to develop next round, we have a Sedge to answer. That's like one of the only things we have going for us right now, I think. Sure, that's unfortunate. Might have to even like wins next round now if he just opens attacks. It's not that good though. Yikes, dude. Yeah, it's gonna be an open every single time, so I'm gonna have to play the wins, I think. Unfortunate. At least that's playable. It's a flame egg, man. Alternatively, it's that culling there. What am I doing with my 4 mana? Nothing. So probably should just be that. We can Sejuani hit the Abomination and make our Babbling Beard kill the Abomination next round, so it makes more sense to just block something that's going to be doing damage here. Problems are obviously just going to be bonds. We already talked about that though. That card's just going to pop off no matter what. I do think playing the Feast is better for him that exact turn. And I think that the Ummahog makes sense as well. It's going to utilize our mana effectively, I guess, is really the important part here for us. Going back to Cali, guys. Let's go. If only I could play him. I technically can. It's just, is that really the look? Can Sejuani Hearthguard both are, or sorry, Hearthguard Glory Seeker both are good. Wow, yes sir. The doggos are out there barking. I lose the Glory Seeker, right? So it's not even like I have a net gain, but Glory Seeker's useless on our attack phase, whereas she's actually okay now. I feel like it's still this. I could be wrong, but I feel like this just makes more sense to me. That's about it. The flip side argument would always be good if like the play consisted of me having more spell mana, so I could have played Sedge plus Calling Strike into something next rounds. The issue is like it's not really happening with okay, that's really fucking bad with what we were doing. So I got punished there. Am I gonna die because of that punish though? Probably not with double calling, but it's gonna be close. Yanks, dude. It's like I have one good calling target, the rest are just really bad. I'd rather just play like the Hearthguard here to block with. Otherwise. So he still needs 2 units to die here. You can play attack buffs on these and then they just live and then he wins, but I mean that's always going to be the case anyways, so can do this and see if he plays an attack buff, I guess. This is like one of those matchups where you really want the Reckoning, man. It's just so insane. Like you play it, you just wipe their whole board and you just like literally just win on the spot. But it's just not the case that we're able to have that right now, unfortunately. It's got 11 mana, man. Can Atrocity, you could have Decimates. It's kind of a wonky list, so I'm not even really sure what I should be expecting at this point, to be honest. This is sort of like the board-based aggro look that I was looking for, so maybe we actually want to play something along these lines there. Pretty cool deck. So sitting at 10 mana, I could technically Assessor and get a Reckoning here. So that should probably be the look. Trapper and Assessor again, okay. I mean, that's okay. I do need to play the Glory Seeker. If I have 4 units on board, we should be able to block everything that we want to block here. So, I mean, that should just be the look. Go Trapper, go for the Glory Seeker. Glory Seeker hits the Callista. 6 attack, we should be okay. And because she has +1, we really shouldn't have to worry about the Feast or anything.
Victory requires a sharp blade.
Should also be attacking with everything but Sejuani, I believe. That's because those are all going to get good trades, whereas Seju won't. Should definitely be like that. So she doesn't level before she dies. That would be kind of bad if that was the case. Definitely not the biggest fan of that, so we should play around that maybe. Could be the look. The world's most impossible turn. You figured it out though. So he's technically up a unit if he plays one more card, but I do have Calling Strike to respond with. So put this Cali deck in tier 1 on his website. What we want. And it seems okay. Definitely not a bad deck. What are you really rezzing with the Callista that makes it that good though? Like, it doesn't really seem like it's like that. I don't really know what the correct word is. Maybe like overwhelming. It feels like it's not a bad deck, but it's not like the best deck in the entire world. It seems like to me at least. So if we do that, you get blocked 2 right now, and then we will push at a minimum 13 in theory here. And with the Fury, it means that we should just win. So open attack should be lethal. So bad deck? I don't know if I'd say that. It definitely makes sense. I think that bad deck is thrown around a lot. I would in fact actually argue that anything that's not a Heim or Vi deck is a pretty bad deck. But I think I could see how it could potentially work, right? Like you have Disciple, Transfusion, good cards. You run the Demolition. It's basically just like the really good Noxus cards, I guess. So I was talking about Brothers Bond, but that's probably not one that they run. That being said, they might actually want to look into doing that. It could be a good look for that type of a deck. Hit the Fury of the North, and that should seal the deal here, I think. But I mean, it's a classic Noxus splash right now, which is very common for anybody trying to play anything aggressive because Disciple, Demolition, is Transfusion are just cards that are ridiculous when coupled together. And Fervor as well is a very good one. So like it makes sense. Yeah, I don't know if I'd say it's tier 1. I may be underrating it, but I don't even really think Decimate's like that insane of a card. It feels like it's okay, but not like that good. Speak of the only deck that should be considered good in the game. We found it. Am I going to keep Culling Strike? Probably not. What exactly do I look for in this matchup? Well, Omen Hog is probably a pretty good start. Glorious Seeker is okay. They don't really play stuff on 2 other than the 1-3, but we are on evens. And this card gets Mystic Shotted or Thermoed a lot. I think I really want to keep an Elixir of Iron just to try and protect it. If you do get 5, it's pretty good, but I feel like a more consistent line for us is just having like an overwhelmingly large board, I guess, and stuff like an Omen Hawk into a double Ashe Hand is definitely a nice start. One of the reasons for that is that we do just have the Crystal Arrow, and that's a potential way to win. Because the Crystal Arrow will freeze all of the elusive turrets, as they only have 1 health. Of course, we top deck a 2-drop on turn 2. Okay. Well, I'm glad we talked about how we win this matchup, because if we didn't, we clearly would not be, well, doing that well right now. Which, in this case, I would say we're actually doing pretty hot, yeah. We're having a decent start to this game with a sweet 1-2-3. And probably going to follow that up with another Trapper on D next rounds. Just so I have basically 2 1-mana 5/5s that are going to come down, and coupled with the Ashe lead to kind of a ridiculous board here. Sure, that's fine. So buff Sedge, nice. That's really good for 6 as well. So I mean, at this point, the only thing to really talk about is that the draw has been quite good so far. No real complaints about that. I guess things that could start, working for him, or making the game look like it's a little bit more in his favor, like a Vi coming down. In that case, I don't think I still want to save spell mana. I think I'd still rather just play the Trappers, let him get his value trades in. I feel like that's better. Like I just think that if we're gonna assume Vi is gonna be a thing, it's not gonna be that great for us. And based on the Flash of Brilliance, we can say for sure that he doesn't have Heimer in hands, which is good. But that makes the Vi like 50 times more likely. Yeah. Maybe even 60 times more likely. Yeti's good. Put the Yeti first, he plays the Vi now, then we just freeze the Vi, attack for a bunch. I don't have spell mana here to play the Culling Strike with the Ashe. It would be nice if we could do that, but that's just not something we're going to have as an option here. I think it will still be a round where we do want to play Ashe, so I think that's what we're going to be looking forward to do here. Over, Well, I mean, that's a pretty juicy Culling Strike, right? I think we should probably just take the Culling in the 8. That's just, it's too good to pass up, I think. That has got to feel so bad for him, man. So bad. And, clean damage. No Ashe, of course, but I mean, it's still very, very good for us. And he does not have enough mana to really pop off here with Heimer. As, I mean, it just really starts once you have 8 mana with the flashes and stuff like that. Kind of gross.
What seems to be the problem?
It's got the Heimer. I feel like I'd rather Sedge next turn. I think there's 2 mana left over with it, so I think I would have Ashe and Yeti here probably. Reckoning's not the play. It's a Yeti and Ashe, I think, every time.
All the world on one arrow.
The aggro slot is open right now. I'm not sure the deck is actually tier 1. Yeah, I'd say that something along the lines of like the elusive list that I was playing the other day is probably just going to be a little bit better, I think. I could be wrong, but I feel like that's just going to be a little bit stronger probably. So you can block a 5 attack unit, we still do 13 damage here. So I mean, is playing Sejuani even worthwhile? Probably.
You own what you take.
So progress state into an 8/8 is his best play, I think. Flash is fine.
My most groundbreaking invention to date.
Okay. So we should see some Will of Ionias come down for sure. But I mean, at this point, I mean, this is a ridiculous amount of damage here. So 2, I can't do too much about that. I can Calling Strike the Heimer though. It's important to like make him play the spells first, because with stack order, now he's not gonna get a 4/1. Just makes us a lot happier. So he gets a 5/1 with quick attack, I believe. Yeah, that's fine. Actually does really well into our board, but that's fine. No real issues there. And he's at 2 health. So, you know, that's kind of a pretty good look right now. It's not too often that you're going to be dominating Heimer Vi this hard, but when you get a Culling Strike their Vi on curve, it's kind of juicy. Not really the case that that happens too often, but you know, when it does happen, I'm definitely a fan. Do I even need to do anything here? I can just wait to see what he does.
I walk my path alone.
It's 5 mana to play. Now that we know what he's doing, it is probably worthwhile to do. He also kind of knows what we want to do as well now. But he's going to have like probably 3 units and another Will. And in this case, he just doesn't have that. And with the current look that we have with the Fury of the North in hand, this should just be lethal. And another really dominant game with this list. Looking for that Will. It's an unfortunate one, man. It didn't really pan out for him too well, unfortunately. But it's just the way the game goes sometimes.
If I must.
Well played, my friends. Good game.
Now begins a new era of
I'm gonna hit the bathroom before I queue again. But yeah, that was a good one. So usually just Demacia stuff. I mean, they probably play some Yoinkees cards too. So is Ashe to keep? We're on odds. Calling Strike for MF is really good. Harsh Winds is also good. I don't really understand where I'm going to be saving spell mana though. But it is like a very, very good card in general though. I think it's like whether I just want to be okay passing turns 1 and 2. And if we're keeping calling, it might just be the case that we are. But it's definitely an interesting mulligan and one that, you know, I actually probably did incorrectly. Not going to lie. I think I maybe just like overvalue having an Ashe in a matchup like this.
got your back.
You know what I'm saying? It's maybe just like a little bit better than it is. I'd probably Archer that maybe. Could also pass and save spell mana. You just challenge push 3. I'd be in love with this. Otherwise I'd take 5. I still have Elixir of Iron mana. The Archer's good. Playing for minion combat early should be the look. It means that the Culling Strike is going to be harder to play though. Would I want to pass here then? To wait for the MF? Because if I just play this, he can open attack and get the Archer to get fucked here. Pass is probably better. Yeah, he did just miss 3 damage, that is true. So could have always done the challenge and then done that, but you know, we won't tell him that. So because we now know that he doesn't have an Ashe, or not an Ashe, an MF, it probably makes more sense to play the Trapper. I'll take with both of these here, or just one. I have the iron. I don't know if I really want to use it now though. This, like, any trade that it makes should be good for us, right? So I should be fine with this dying here. I don't think there's really too much to think about, and usually he's just gonna let me do 3 with it, I think. How does this deck do against the deep decks? I've been playing some Brilliant Noxus. Not entirely the same concept, but similar, and had trouble against them once they reach deep and drop not. I mean, I think that's pretty normal, right? You're gonna have a lot of issues once decks reach deep and drop Nautilus. So a couple things you're probably not looking at as hard as you should be is Culling Strike and any form of freezing effect. That's one of the best ways you have to deal with stuff like Nautilus. And I guess kind of shut him down before he starts. That would be what I would say at least. Is probably look to utilize some of those effects. Am I playing the Culling Strike on the War Chefs here? I think I'm playing the Yeti. And I think I'm playing Culling here. I'm just not sure exactly how I'm doing this. I think I'm taking the value trade. He might challenge that then though, which would be kind of bad, but I guess I have Elixir. Then the 3/4 just goes in. Is another 2/1 then instead? Does that ever make sense? Calling the 2/1 over 3/4. No, it doesn't really make too much sense. So let's go through it. Calling the 3/4. My 1 mana card trades with a 4-drop and a 1-drop. Calling goes there. So that's not a 4/5, because then I don't deal with it otherwise. And then I have Iron to back us up, so it should be fine. I would say that Culling Strike's one of your better cards in that matchup for sure, though. Coupled with any form of a freeze effect. Sejuani being a big one, Harsh Winds is another large one as well. I think that just finding that overwhelming board can be tough, though, because your early game package really is not very good against the Nautilus Malachite deep decks early game package. So stuff that you want to have is obviously just early game stuff still, like Omen Hawk is nice, but you know, the 1 health units really aren't doing too much for you, I think. That would be my take on that, at least. So if this is the case, am I fine with this just to keep an Elixir for the Ashe in? I feel like yes. At least a 5-attack minion, so if I draw Interfering, it's bad, but I think this is overall is okay. You could also just play like, okay, it's funny that I draw that there. I think it's just the Ashe though. It's so good to have the flash freeze for next round as well, that I think that doing this just makes the most sense here. Use a 3/2, pop off. And everything at this point here is good. That's fine. No worries with that. Is that the entire play though? What's up, Dummy? How you doing, man? Dude, if I'm gonna stream afternoons, I really need to turn off Nightblock, because holy fuck, dude. It is so rough seeing that nonstop. And yo, Dominate. Hey, thank you so much for the 5 gifties, man. Appreciate that, dude. Welcome, Rich1 Zemon. No Dean and Chicken Delight. Give me some pogs in the chat for Dominate, boys. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate that a lot. Thank you. How you doing, dude? Hit the pass button here. Why does he have a protege? I don't like that. Got a Hearth Critter, so that's pretty tough. I don't have mana for the Iron. That's kind of bad. She doesn't need a strike, right? It's just an attack effect, so playing like the flash freeze won't do anything here. And even if I like freeze the protege after it's buffed with the War Chefs, it's gonna mean that we're fucking boned. So health buff's not the move. It's just gonna be playing the Hearth card here, I think, and then probably just getting dick down, unfortunately. That's part of the play, though, I think. Yeah, thank you so much, man. Appreciate it a lot. Super, super generous, dude. And hope you're having a dope Thursday. Today is Thursday, right? Trying out this thing, I looked at what Mogwai does for his schedule, and what he does is he takes every Monday and Friday off. He streams Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday, Sunday. I think it's kind of like a good move. I'm trying it out. Definitely a little bit different though. Feels kind of good to have like actual off days. So I mean, streaming it always like feels kind of bad because it feels like I'm just wasting my time all the time if I'm not streaming. So it's kind of nice that I don't feel like I'm wasting time, at least with this type of a schedule right now. I don't know if that makes any sense or not. So I can protect the Ashe here with the freeze. This doesn't do anything really. It kind of does stuff next round though. So maybe it's just a flash freeze. Or even like the Elixir of Iron could just be better here, I guess. Saves the spell mana. Probably is just better. I think that I would say it's fine to just have this stay. But I mean, I may be just being dumb and should have blocked there. That's probably the play actually, but that's okay. It seems like Monday and Friday are kind of the best days though, because you just have like, you know, nice connect. You get the 2 days on the weekend and then a couple days off after that. Seems good. I think the Assessor is pretty good here. Just drawing 2 is nice. Reckoning and Trapper, okay. I mean, we didn't really get anything that gives us any new info, right? Which kind of sucks, but the cards are still good. It's at this point in the game, the cards we should be playing should be larger than his. So most of the time we're going to be fine with whatever happens here. Cythria kills the 5-2. I don't like the fact that Cythria kills the 5-2. If I play Trapper, I may be getting baited here actually. Let me just attack with these for now. I have to freeze whatever Ashe is getting attacked by, I guess. So push 7 here. I think that should be the play. He can still block with this as well, right? It's not even like it just dies. So I mean, it's not really that great for us here. He also still probably has combats too, which also is not that good for us. The ideal combos for Sejuani in this deck. I think Sejuani is just very good to have as a unit here. This is more of an Ashe deck than it is a Sejuani deck. I would say that you're kind of just playing Sejuani because she's a unit that is strong. That should be the way that you think about Sejuani in a deck like this, I think. It's not so much so that you know, you're trying to level the Sedge all the time and have that happen, because I think in a deck like this, it's actually very rare that you would level up Sejuani. I think it's just that she's a very powerful unit that is very difficult to deal with. Why is my Ashe dying? I do not like this. 1 bit. Oh, Hearthstone's is good though. That's really nice actually. So I could technically like freeze these 2 and then the Ashe would level here. I don't have enough spell mana to Reckoning though. Let me just keep her healthy. Put it in move. And we also know off the top that we're always getting the Crystal Arrow. That's one thing with Ashe, is that you always put the Crystal Arrow to be the top card of your deck. So we know that's going to be the draw no matter what. I think at this point playing the Bjerg is probably the best, so you can maybe rip a Sedge. Another Ashe, okay. So Flash Freeze is okay. At this point, when he tries to play the cards here, when we attack, we can make it so you can't block with some of them, so we're kind of okay here, or we could even play like a whole nother Ashe sometimes. Okay, this actually isn't the best look anymore. I don't have any mana, the Ashe gets pulled, all of these attack. I lose my board and he gets good trades. Why does Cythria exist? She's so tick, dude. If I go for Reckoning, I kill the small stuff, but like it's not even relevant, right? So 5-6. It's a 1-2. This is a 4-3. Just wanted to die. Smart guy. Can we make it so Crystal Arrow will get us lethal? I guess sometimes we can, right? Like, we would just go, like, I guess Trapper here, maybe? We go to 3 health. I lose to, I guess I technically still don't lose to Rally. But he can play another unit that has more than 3 health, but I guess in that case then the Ashe would stun that. So Crystal Arrow is obviously good. We also get a draw from it, so we probably open with the Crystal Arrow here. I believe we got the Yeti from the first Trapper we played this game, so we don't have a Yeti in the top. So that's not going to be an outcome as possible. Do you think the best deck to climb is at this rank? Or in general, you mean? I mean, that's kind of a toughie, to be honest, dude. So because he has 1 card now, I think we just always win. Because we're always going to freeze whatever the 1 card is that he plays. Ashe gets played. None of these units can block. So maybe just play Trapper here. We play the Ashe, and we should just have checkmate in play. And I'm not going to lie, dude. This deck feels really, really strong right now. We've been jamming it for like 40-50 minutes now, and I don't think we've lost a game.
No prey.
MF, okay. So one thing that's really nice about expansions is you always get to build on old archetypes if there are new existing cards that help them. Which, I mean, this one didn't really get too many new cards, but just the addition of Sejuani makes it quite a bit different than from what this was in, you know, the original patch. Sorry, from beta, with just the basic set cards. Best deck to climb with, I would say, if you want good decks to climb with, check out my YouTube. I think that there's a lot of them that I have here that are very good to climb. 2 of the ones that, I guess 3 of the ones, the 3 that I would recommend the most. Teemo Sejuani is really good. I'd recommend a deep deck if you have cards for that, or this new elusive deck. The new elusive one is definitely the fastest one to climb with, and it's one that I've had a lot of good feedback with recently, where people have been telling me that they've been popping the fuck off with it, and climbing super, super quick. So I would personally say check this out. Deep or the Teemo Sej are very good as well, and honestly, anything that I've played so far is strong enough to climb with. They all win in Masters Ladder with positive win rates. None of the decks that I have on YouTube are negative win rate decks. They are all positive and are all decks that can't pop. So Lucian Zed, Sentry, Trapper, Ashe. You don't really have good ways to interact with the Zed here, unfortunately. I think even though we are on odds, I'm going to keep the Ashe still. I feel like I just get baited a lot here, right? Like, I've been keeping Ashe basically every single time I see her because she is a very strong card. I could probably shut up about getting baited now because I now have the flash freeze from the second Ashe, which is good. But I was gonna say that she's not like actually exactly what you want in this given situation, I think. Brittle Seal is kind of exactly what you want to answer the Zed, so that's sweet. Play the Trapper here, I think. Good game, Hawk, good game, man. Pretty good GP decks in the meta. For sure, yeah, Gangplank is definitely a good champion. It's one, I actually messed around with Gangplank for like 2 or 3 hours the other day. I wasn't too happy with how I played with the list, though. I feel like it's kind of an intricate one, so that's one of the ones that I want to go back and you know, spend a little bit more time playing, because I think that I could have done a little bit of a better job with the deck in general. So one of the things that I do like to try to do is if I'm playing a deck and posting, and I kind of want to have like at least like gameplay where, you know, I know what I'm doing, and you know, by the end I figured that I did. I realized what you got to do with the list and that kind of stuff, but it just I guess wasn't my best gameplay ever. So I decided to kind of pull the gameplay stuff, and I would revisit that in a bit. It is very good though. People are hitting decently high ranks with it, and it is relatively strong. I think we definitely want to Brittle Seal this round. It's just what do we want to play? Is it like an Ashe here? Do we want to play Bjerg? Do you want to just pass for now? So we're never blocking with the Ashe if we play, right? Like, we can do this, it's fine. Maybe even just take 6 from the Ranger. And then just, like, hit the Senna. Might be the play. Like Brittle Steel and then go like the Sentry into it or something. Could be the play. I feel like it's actually not that bad of a look here. So if we want to play around Rallying Strike, I could just go for Trapper. That might be the look. I feel like they don't run that though. It'd be like something like Single Combat, but you know, in the exact idea of Rallying Strike, we should do, or sorry, not Rallying Strike. It's 1 mana plus 1/1. You guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah, the good old 1 mana plus 1/1 card. Should be an open, I think. He blocks with that. He gets a 3/4. Radiant Strike, thank you, yeah. Radiant Strike. So get the 5, and really the scariest turn for us is going to be next phase now. His deck will definitely run rallies, so that's something we're going to have to worry about. Passing here always makes sense, I think. And he can still rally here. We're basically never getting a good situation into rally outside of, I guess, playing Flash Trees. So this is the kind of the situation where, like, if I play another unit, we kind of get boned here. Because none of the units value trade the 3/1. I guess it's not really that bad, but it's also not really... The problem with going for Bjerg here is we hit Glory Seeker a lot, which is not good on his defensive phase. I'd basically be playing the Bjerg to try to hit Sejuani, preferably, or I guess like a Hearth card. Which might still be the play here. I don't think it's Assessor for 1, so I feel like I should do this and really just, I guess, ignore the fact that, you know, I have the Trifarian Glory Seeker as a play, or as a drawable 2. And also ignore the fact that, I think here this is probably just the move. Take the draw. I was gonna say, also ignore the fact that he could have a rally effect, right? Super sweet. But I mean, now the question is, like, am I even doing this here? Because, like, I do have the Enraged Yeti, which is going to get a value trade already. I can do some stuff with Ashe here sometimes as well. The Sejuani's not always that great. I feel like the fact that I have Flash Freeze just means that I do want to play the Yeti here over the Sedge. It means that we're not going to be able to get an Assessor next round. But I think that the play makes the most sense. Could even argue it's like this and then just Assessor here, if he gives us another action. I'm stupid, sorry, I wouldn't use my spell mana to play that, that's my bad. You kind of can't Assessor if you don't have enough for to play it. You sort of need 4 mana for units. Your spell mana does not count. Maybe not my brightest moment, and now the 2/1 just kills the 5/1, so... Definitely not my brightest moment ever, but that's okay. It's worth the iron. It's probably worth the iron. I still have Flash Freeze in case of a combat. Happens, yeah. Definitely don't always play perfectly when I stream. It's one thing I'm sure a lot of you guys probably know. So Ashe is at 2 out of 5. I can sedge the 3/4 here. He'll develop something bigger. Then we have Flash Freeze. We're going to freeze 3 things. Level the Ashe up this round. It should be good though. It's an easy hit for the Glory Seeker. I feel like Sejuani's like kind of a weird one too, because she's very good when you're on defense to just hit like any big unit your opponent wants to play and then hit a Calling Strike after. So we do that, and then we're looking for, I guess, a Flash Freeze here. Nice for your Shen deck, thank you. I should probably update the title, you're right. Thanks for reminding me about that. He's at 2 HP. He can't single combat anything to kill the Ashe.
I'll lead us to victory.
I don't think I'm really missing anything there as far as what I could do to win here goes. The Crystal Arrow is also really broken in the case that he wants to just do some wacky stuff with like rallying next rounds. And we also just have like 4 units to draw with the accessories. So I mean, in this case, I just feel really in control of the game. And like, we're really just gonna run into good situations here, he finds. Should have pulled the vulnerable target with Ashe and other Frozen Bear with Glory Seeker on. Yeah, sorry, yeah, I used my Challenger unit to pull a vulnerable unit. That's my bad. Sorry, I wasn't thinking. Definitely true. Should have been Ashe hitting that every time. That's one of those times where, you know, I just really need to shut up and think about what I do, like really thoroughly, before I start talking like an idiot. Because yeah, you're right. Definitely was not the best play ever. Kind of wasted a flash freeze for sure. To be fair though, I would have to use one if I wanted to level here, which I kind of did, but you know, I could get flash freeze value this turn and then have the Ashe level now, because I mean, I'm not going to use the Crystal Arrow here really. We want to do that when we're on offense to win. It's a toughie.
They'll never see me coming.
Okay. We don't have to do anything here. He has to do so much before we even have to think about doing stuff.
Enough stall. I will play my part.
Okay.
Only the finest serve.
That's a lot of draw. It's not too often you're just going to play 1 card and draw 4, but Fearing Assessor definitely gives you that kind of a possibility. Sure, that's fine. Probably do want to do this now then. I can block any other units he plays, and elusive units aren't going to have enough health to dodge like the Brittle Seal, and even if that's the case, I have Archer anyways. Ooh, this guy's fancy, okay. But we're still not dead, so we're fine. Frostbite the 4-2, maybe? I don't think it's calling here. But I could Frostbite Brittle, I guess. Do I win at the start of next round of this play? So I mean, if I Brittle, I mean, I'm not dead. It's not like you can Mystic or anything anyways. And you can't really play any buffs.
They cannot hide.
Okay, GG. Yeah. I don't really think there's too much you can do there, to be honest. We're kind of just popping.